Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
And good morning, Las Vegas. They've got a little early start there, had a little technical snafu, but that gives us a little more time, and we need it. Holy cow. Are you ready for 8 glorious days of pro wrestling like you would not believe? My goodness. It is going to be something special here over the Sunday to next Sunday as we have AEW All In, TNA Emergence, WWE Bash in Berlin, and NXT No Mercy. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I don't know when I'm going to see people have a life, but this is going to be one exciting 8-day period, actually starting right now. That's right. AEW All In, the pre-show 0 hour, is on the air live from Wembley. So they are just getting things rolling over there in London, and we'll keep an eye on what's going on over there as the 0 hour pre-show is on. And right now, Jeff Jarrett is speaking to the crowd. He had a fun night on AEW Collision yesterday as the Welsh fans were chanting and singing his name. Oh, Jeff Jarrett, unbelievable. What a career resurgence for him. That is amazing. But Jeff Jarrett, of course, one of many, many superstars that is going to be getting the job done over there in Wembley Stadium today. So if you want to get on there, of course, your favorite outlets, I've got on Bleacher Report, but you can go wherever you want, Triller.tv and so many others. But this to me is a cannot miss. What an amazing card this is going to be. We're going to break it all down for you and everything else going on. And what a fantastic show we've got lined up too, as we're going to hear from one of Vegas's favorites. And this guy was a champion 3 times in FSW here in Las Vegas. Of course, MLW world champion. And after a long battle, managed to finally get on with TNA. And we are very excited to hear from Hammerstone. That's right. We got Hammerstone on the show. He is going to be part of a 6-man Ultimate X match for the X Division Championship at TNA Emergence on Friday night. So we're going to get to hear from the big man. Pretty intriguing interview. I had a lot of fun with Hammerstone. So looking forward to talking to him. And then in hour number 2, we're going to hear from Rick Ucchino, our good friend from Cincinnati, who just got on with Sports Illustrated. And I'm so happy for Rick. And we're going to talk to him about that. And man, I mean, we've only got one segment with Rick, and I don't know how we're going to jam everything with him, but it'll be a fun time to talk to Rick Ucchino about what's happening in the world of pro wrestling and today and Bash in Berlin and NXT, Joe Hendry. I mean, wow. What a wild week this is going to be. So if you lost track of everything going on, here's where we are for first today. AEW All In. Main event coming up today, of course, is Swerve Strickland taking on Bryan Danielson. Title versus career for the AEW World Championship. These two have done an unreal job hyping this matchup. I mean, wow. And there is a chance that neither of them walks out of the Wembley Stadium with the AEW World title. Seriously. What are you talking about, Mark? How is that possible? Well, They threw together the little old casino gauntlet match. The casino gauntlet match is where you start off with two people, and in time increments, you add another person and add another person. The first person to get a pinfall wins the match. That means it could happen right off the bat. The first two guys in, someone gets a fall, they win. And everybody else is like, oh, well, that was fun. But Orange Cassidy is going to be leading that off. But in that match, Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, Evil Uno, Roderick Strong, Dustin Rhodes, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, and Hangman Adam Page. And, of course, the Hangman has been heavily involved with Swerve Strickland over the last year or so. He has been dying to get his hands on that AEW World Championship again. And Tony Schiavone made it very clear this week that it is similar to the WWE Money in the Bank. You can cash it in at any time. Now, it would seem to make sense that no matter which guy wins, and right now you would think it would be Bryan Danielson, after those guys beat the hell out of each other for the next 30 to 45 minutes or so, that the Hangman is going to come running out there and steal the show. They may hold it off until AEW All Out in a couple of weeks. Maybe. But I've got about a 40 to 45% chance that Hangman Adam Page walks out of Wembley as the AEW World Champion. Also on the card, Toni Storm and Mariah May for the AEW Women's World Championship. This one has been brewing forever. Terrific build-up with this. Mariah May is promising an R-rated show if she wins. So that may get some of the Wembley fans on her side. That'll be entertaining. Mercedes Moné takes on Dr. Britt Baker DMD for the AEW TBS Championship. Of course, Camille will be in Mercedes' corner on that one. MJF defends the AEW American/International Championship against Will Ospreay. That should be another dynamite one. Of course, MJF just won the championship from Will in that 59-minute and 58-second match a little bit ago. Jack Perry in a coffin match against Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. And by the way, Jack Perry actually melted down that TNT title and made that new one himself. Pretty impressive. Young Bucks take on Matt and Nick Jackson take on FTR and the Acclaimed in a three-way tag match for the AEW World Tag Team titles. Chris Jericho with Big Bill and Brian Keith take on Hook. It is Hook's last shot to get back Daddy's FTW title. The Patriarchy is going to be defending their the Trios Championship, in a four-way match, ladder match. They're calling it the London ladder match, for the AEW World Trios Championship. If you are not ready for chaos, kids, holy God. Because all those guys are going to be in the ring at the same time. All of them. In a ladder match. Oh, keep your fingers crossed. And then here on the pre-show, Dustin Rhodes, Sammy Guevara, Katsuyori Shibata, and the Von Erichs, Marshall and Ross, take on the Undisputed Kingdom, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, and Cage of Agony, Brian Cage, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona, in a 10-man tag team match. So those boys will be getting their bonuses for being on the All In card. And Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway take on Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii. In a mixed tag match, the winning team gets to choose the stipulation between Nightingale and Statlander for Nightingale CMLL title at All Out. That is your card. Jesse Hyde, thank you, Jesse, because you got me in the chat box there. Do you think that the AEW surprise debuts like Ricochet, MVP, Bobby Lashley, the backstage drama where Britt Baker and MJF will be overshadowed by the AEW debut of Shane McMahon and there will be drama. Well, Ricochet has apparently signed a contract. I have a feeling we may see him at the end of the MJF Will Ospreay match. The other guys, who knows? Who knows? But there will be surprises tonight. But if Shane McMahon walks out, that place is going to erupt. It's going to erupt. So get ready for what should be an absolutely wild AEW All In card today. I cannot recommend this enough. These guys are going to pull out all the stops today. And if you have not watched AEW or maybe been staying away from pro wrestling for a while, you're going to absolutely love this card. I'm telling you, the rivalries, the stories should be fantastic. So brace yourselves, everybody. It's going to be worth the $49.99. No doubt. So check it out. Your favorite pay-per-view outlet, and get on board for AEW All In. Oh man, it is going to be a heck of an afternoon. And of course, that starts at 10 o'clock. The pre-show is on right now, so we're kind of keeping an eye on things as that rolls on. Betting odds are up, by the way, on betonline.ag. And I really felt like this is going to be a fairly unpredictable card today. BetOnline.ag does not. And I'm telling you, I think there's some money to be made. So you may want to go take advantage of that matching bonus that we've got on BetOnline.ag. That's right. If you go to MarkHokeShow.com right now, you can bet on wrestling plus everything else. Just go on there, click on the banner, and you use that code BOL1000. You can bet on wrestling, and it's a matching bonus, 50% matching bonus, up to $1,000. So that means if you put in $1,000, you get $500 extra. What a deal. I'm giving you $500. So just go to MarkHokeShow.com, click on the banners. There's all sorts of links to get to it, and you can go place your bets right now and take a look. We'll probably hit those betting odds a little bit more later on. But yeah, I'm a little surprised. Young Bucks are minus 700. Hangman Page, that one doesn't surprise me at minus 500. Hook is a minus 5,000 to win. Will Ospreay's a minus 4,000. This one shocked me. Mercedes Moné is a minus 5,000 to beat Britt Baker. So you get a plus 1,000 on Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Jack Perry is a minus 1,000 to beat Darby Allin. Darby's plus 550. So there's a lot of interesting betting odds on there. Probably the tightest one, Bryan Danielson's a minus 500, Swerve's a plus 3. So plenty of opportunities, everyone. Check it out. So take a look. All right. So we're going to step back and take a break. And when we come back, we are going to hear from a Vegas wrestling legend and a guy who is tearing apart TNA. Very happy to have had a chance to sit down with Hammerstone on the show, and we'll hear from him when we return here on the Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. So stick around, everybody. We'll be right back.
.1015 FM KDAWN. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we return to the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN 1015 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. The All In pre-show showing the coffin. That's right. Who will be in that coffin? Will it be Jack Perry? Will it be Darby Allin? The scapegoat wanted it. Well, kid, you got it. I don't know. I have a feeling Jack Perry's going to win that match. But there's talk that Darby Allin's going to be getting a world championship push. We'll find out. But losing a coffin match wouldn't be a good way to do it. But at the same time, putting the TNT title on him doesn't lead to that. So we'll see how that turns out. But one guy who is living life right now that we are very excited to have gotten a chance to sit down and talk to this week is the big man, Hammerstone. So he will be in a 6-way match, an Ultimate X match for the TNA X Division title, as he's going to be trying to knock off not only Speedball Mike Bailey, but he's got Zachary Wentz, Riley Osborne, Jason Hotch, and the Laredo Kid in what should be an incredible TNA Emergence with the main event of Nick Nemeth defending his TNA World Championship against Josh Alexander in a 60-minute Iron Man match. Man, hold on to your hats for that one. But we are very excited. We got a chance to take some time and sit down with the big man Hammerstone. So let's hear from Alex Hammerstone himself. All right, everybody. We are very excited on the Mark Hoke Show to have one of Vegas's favorite professional wrestlers. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Coming in to say hi as he's getting ready for TNA Emergence coming up. And he is going to be in that X Division match, trying to take that belt off Speedball Mike Bailey. And, of course, he's going to have 4 other guys to compete with, too. This is going to be a wild week for Alex Hammerstone over at TNA Emergence coming out of Louisville, Kentucky on September 30th. But I'm just thrilled to have this guy on the show. I've been watching him so much here in Las Vegas, and we get to have him join us on the Mark Hoke Show. Hammerstone is in the house. What's going on, big man?
Not too much. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Thrilled to have you on. And, well, Alex, first, how are things going in TNA, my friend? I mean, I know everybody was really excited to see when you signed. And, it's been about 6 months now. What's going on with TNA?
I mean, so far, so good. I truly, I've been having a blast. It definitely, I was at the point where I needed, a change. I needed something new, and TNA has provided that. It's really reinvigorating to feel like I have some new mountains to climb and some new goals to chase and a whole new locker room of matchups that have never happened before. It's just a really exciting time. I really show up every month, like really looking forward to finding out like what I'm going to be doing, what matches I'm going to be in. And so far, like, I can't believe, 6 months has already gone by because it feels like, it's just flying, it's really just flying by because I'm really enjoying it up to this point.
Well, you got dropped right in with Josh Alexander to start things off too. And I remember when that match was added at Hard to Kill, and I said, wow, what an opportunity for Hammerstone to really put on a show. And I thought you guys had the best match of that night. What was it like to get thrown right into the fire and say, here you go, big man, here's your chance?
I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. If I couldn't hang with the best, then I probably didn't deserve to be on the roster, So I'm glad that that's the situation they put me in, because it was a situation where it was like, this is one of our best guys. You're going in there for 20 plus minutes, and, like you said, you enjoyed the match very much. A lot of people said it was their favorite match of the night. It's like, when you get that kind of reception from something, that's, at Hard to Kill, I haven't signed a contract. I wasn't guaranteed anything, but I think that performance obviously is, what kind of pushed me over the edge in the eyes of the company. So, I'm really thankful that I was given that opportunity. And at the same time, I think that speaks to, the fact that a lot of companies, when you come in, it's kind of like, whatever you've done elsewhere doesn't really matter, and you have to completely start from the ground up. And not that I have any kind of ego where I'm not willing to, put the work in, because I'm willing to do that. It's really nice to feel that TNA recognize that I've been doing this for over 10 years, and they recognize that I've been all over the world, and they recognize that I've held world championships. So, as much as they're not saying, you get a fast track to the top, they are saying like, hey, we'll throw you on the deep end and see if you can swim.
Yeah, and I thought it was really interesting looking back over your career. There were so many points where, you had tryout matches and, people would give you the great comparisons, but then, it never worked out. And, you obviously did amazing work on the Indies and MLW, but this had to be really sweet for you to get that contract signed with TNA after all you went through. Tell us a little bit about that road.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long road. I think a lot of what happened for me happened out of the fact that I kind of developed in wrestling backwards to the way a lot of people develop. A lot of people spend a lot of time just in the ring learning how to wrestle, and that's, they're very proficient in the ring, but they never really figure out how to have that charisma and that character and that larger than life, entrance and music and all these things, and that the visuals, and developing themselves physically. That all comes a lot later. How many times have you seen these guys who are like the indie standouts, but they never really get a shot because, they don't really look like much physically, and they don't really know how to cut a promo. They're not very charismatic, et cetera, et cetera. I was kind of backwards. So I, came into wrestling. I before I even started training, I thought like you got to be big and muscular. So I'd been working out for years before I even signed up for wrestling school. So I came in with a good build. I came in really like with the mindset of like, I'd been a musician. I'd been a performer for several years. So I came in with this performer mindset where I wanted the spotlight, and I wasn't nervous in front of people, and I wanted to figure out how to captivate an audience. So I think I got a lot of those things off the bat, which got me a lot of attention, which got me in a lot of doors. So big companies, they see those things, they're like, we want this. They give you a tryout, they give you an opportunity. But I hadn't honed my actual wrestling skills yet. So it took me the time. I got a lot of opportunities very early. Within my first year of training, I had a tryout for the WWE. Within, it was only a couple years in that I had tryouts with basically almost every major company. But, I was raw. I was still, learning a lot of, sharpening my skills, so to say. So there's no part of me that's like, oh, these companies passed me up. It's, they slept on me. It's like, wrestling isn't like that. Like you come with what you got. And if what you have is what they want at the time, it's going to work. Otherwise, get back to work and don't rest on your laurels. Keep developing. I kept developing. I kept, I went through several kind of character and persona changes over the years. I was always trying to get better in the ring, always trying to stay on top of things. And, the guys who are successful are usually the ones that have been told no over and over and over, but don't let that break their spirit. Because there's so many guys who, after they get told no 4 or 5 times, they might not quit wrestling, but they quit trying as hard. They start slacking on their training. They start slacking on their, workouts, or they start slacking on their getting new gear or how to cut promos. It's, those types of things. And I never let it kill me. Like, even coming into Hard to Kill, like, I was working harder than I ever had because every opportunity was the most important opportunity.
Well, Vegas fans here are very familiar with you because, of course, you were a 3-time FSW champion here, and obviously have that huge moment here in Las Vegas at Hard to Kill. What does Las Vegas mean to you?
Most people who I meet in this industry think I'm based out of Las Vegas just because, FSW is really like kind of one of the companies where I built my name. And I always kind of think of it as a wrestling home. So it's like, to get to do, if Hard to Kill would have happened anywhere, obviously, like, that match, I'm very proud of that match. That match would have been great in front of any crowd. But the fact that it happened in front of a Vegas crowd, I probably couldn't have asked for anything better. It's like, because for whatever I had done and for whatever character I might have portrayed or was portrayed at the time, it's like you said, the fans there, a lot of them knew, like, hey, this guy's been grinding for a decade. He has been one of our guys we want to see succeed. So I think, a lot of the people in the building knew that night how important that moment was to me, and they made it that much more special.
Yeah, we were very happy to see it go well for you. So, I'm looking forward to seeing more from you here in TNA. But now you guys have this relationship with WWE, and I'm curious to get your thoughts about what's happening with that. Do you feel like it's benefiting TNA as well as WWE? What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's, there's not a question of if it's benefiting us. Every show we've had this year has been a sellout. We're drawing record numbers at our shows. And it really looks like the trajectory of the company is just continuing to go up. Not only that, you know, a lot of people are saying, oh, you're like, oh, a couple TNA guys on WWE, that's cool. But you know what they're not realizing too is like how much having the NXT guys on our shows benefits us to get some new guys into, you know, into the mix with us. And you know, wrestling benefits from having different styles, different personalities, you know, shaking things up like that. It's, you know, fresh faces and fresh talent. So it's been very beneficial. You know, I can't say, you know, what it's going to lead to and what's going to be next from it, but it's definitely very exciting times.
Tell me you want to get on NXT. How much would that mean to you to get a chance there?
Hey, I mean, literally, like, I went into this year just saying, like, whatever comes my way, I'm going to try to knock it out of the park. I'm not expecting the world to be handed to me. I don't care what I'm asked to do, whatever it is, I'm just going to go in there with my work boots on and do my best job. So if that means I'm one of the guys who gets an opportunity at NXT, then I'm going to treat it like it's the most important opportunity in the world.
And we're on the Mark Hoke Show here with TNA's Hammerstone. God, it's just fun to say that too. TNA's Hammerstone. It's awesome. Yeah, I'd like to see the smile on your face for that. Now, I've been following you for a long time, and your X account is, I find it very inspirational and just fascinating because you really do put out the personal side of you out there. First on the bodybuilding stuff. Dude, you got the best legs in pro wrestling. I mean, seriously. I mean, when I was an athlete and, you know, I would love doing the big leg presses and stuff, but my God, what is your routine when you're in the weight room? Cause that's crazy.
It's something like squat until you cry, you know, most days. No, I mean, that's the thing. I don't think it's anything that crazy or absurd that I do. I think it's just an intense level of consistency and discipline. It's like I don't miss training sessions. I don't miss meals. I track every workout. I track every meal. I'm kind of like neurotic about this stuff because I have, like you know, we talked about earlier, I've had so many times in my life where I was told no. I was told I wasn't good enough. So I just kept being like, how could I be better? How could I be better? And finding these little things. And it's like, and then once you set a new habit that brings you some success, you are terrified that if you stop doing that, the success goes away. So, you know, I'm in the gym most every day, usually twice a day. I hurried up and was up early this morning so I could get a workout in before we did this interview, and I have another one later this night. You know, it's just part of my, you know, crazy obsessive brain.
What's the craziest thing you've done in a weight room? Because anybody that's been an athlete has always gone in and said, you know what, I'm going to try this today. And, you know, it's just ridiculous, but you might pull it off. What's the craziest thing you've ever done in a weight room?
I mean, you know, I have good lifting numbers from here and there. You know, I've done, you know, impressive sets of workouts where I'm, you know, deadlifting 405 for 20 reps or 315 for 30 reps, you know, but honestly, like the mentally the hardest thing I've done, because as hard as lifting weights is, it's like a hard set lasts a minute or 2 minutes, like if it's a very long set. But I've done a Stairmaster session where I climbed 500 flights of stairs in an hour, and that was that's the hardest thing I've ever done. Like, it's because I don't know, like I don't know anybody that has, like, I've met guys that could probably hit those deadlift numbers, but I don't know anybody who would do that on a flight of stairs, because it's just, you're basically sprinting upstairs for an hour straight. It's so painful, and it's mentally so much harder because the pain doesn't stop. It is an hour straight of torture.
God, that's insane, but very cool. Yeah. Now everybody's going to be going out there and trying that once they hear that interview. Now, you also
good luck.
New challenge. You also play guitar, and you actually wrote your own entrance music. The guitar playing, I imagine that's kind of a nice breakaway from all this for you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's funny you bring that up. I haven't been playing as much the last couple of weeks. I keep beating myself up over it. But yeah, I would say it's really good and really important for people in this industry to have something outside of it that's completely unrelated, because it's like for several years I didn't, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people say I eat, sleep, and breathe wrestling, and that's good. Like, it's good to obsess over your craft and to be a little bit unbalanced if you want to succeed. But at the same time, there are going to be times that this business drives you nuts and you hate everything about it, and to have nothing else to kind of step into and take your mind off it. Or I tell guys all the time, like, what happens if you blow an ACL and you're out for 6 months? What are you going to do? Like, you literally have nothing else that like you can mentally invest your creativity and your time into. So, for that reason, yeah, guitar playing, like, there's several days where it's like, if I pick up a guitar, it's like for those 2 hours, I'm not thinking about my training. I'm not thinking about wrestling. I'm not thinking about any of that. It's just something, to have a creative outlet to do that's completely enjoyable in a completely separate way.
Well, we're hopefully going to be enjoying you winning the X Division Championship at TNA Emergence coming up on the 30th. Tell everybody a little about this match, man, because this is going to be wild. You've got so many different styles of matches, plus just dealing with the speedball's tough enough.
Well, I've done, almost everything there is to do in wrestling: tables matches, ladder matches, cage matches. The Ultimate X match is something I have never done, and it's something that, I'm not going to lie, is pretty nerve-wracking because, there's something to be said for if I beat up everybody else in the match and then my palms are too sweaty, I can't even climb that damn cable. And also, I'm trying to carry 275 pounds across the cable while these other guys got like $150. But yeah, I mean, the Ultimate X match is a staple of TNA. It's one of the most unique things the company has created that's, stood the test of time. It's something that they're specifically known for. So yeah, when I first asked for a spot in one of these qualifying matches, I did it thinking I was going to win, but now that I'm here, it's like, it's daunting, it's nerve-wracking, it's intimidating, but I think I got a good 80 pounds on about everybody else in the match, so I'm not too worried about it.
Well, I know that a lot of people in Las Vegas are going to be hoping you're going to win that match. And I know we still talk about you here. You were just over at FSW a little while ago, and everybody is just thrilled to see from where you've come from to where you are now. And we can't wait for more Hammerstone. It's going to be amazing. And, maybe sometime after this X Division Championship, maybe that world title is going to be in your sights.
I'm shooting for the top of the mountain. So, ain't no stopping your boy Hammer.
Sounds great. Well, Alex, thanks for coming on the show. I've been looking forward to getting to speak with you for a long time on here. And we want to wish you all the best of luck in this match coming up in Emergence and just your career. It's been fun to see, and we can't wait for more from Hammerstone.
Right on, brother. I appreciate it.
You got it. Thank you very much. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.
And there you go from Hammerstone, everybody. You got to maybe accidentally see a little bit from Travel Shark. That's all right. But wow, the road that Hammerstone has taken to get there, 10 long years of hard work, dedication, and he's just a great guy too. So many of these people that are in the industry, when you get to know them and get to talk to them, well-rounded, smart people. It's very hard to be unintelligent and be a professional wrestler. You've got to be able to be eloquent. You've got to be able to think on your feet. And to do what they do is so difficult. And, Alex is one of those guys that he has just put in so much work. And to see him finally get to TNA and do what he's doing. And, those matches with Josh Alexander were amazing. And now he's going to be doing an Ultimate X match. I can't wait to see him climbing cables. I just hope he doesn't tear him down. That could get pretty nasty. But, it would be fun to see him win the X Division Championship and, dueling it out with Speedball Mike Bailey. Oh, man, what a fun night that'll be. And the rest of that card, by the way, if you want to check it out, that is on Friday night. Available on TNA Plus and pay-per-view. So it's now Kushida against Frankie Kazarian. You've got that Ultimate X match, which is Hammerstone, Mike Bailey, Zachary Wentz, Riley Osborne, Jason Hotch, and Laredo Kid. Steve Macklin is going to take on Eric Young for the first time, so that should be a lot of fun. Jordan Grace and Spitfire in a 6-man knockout tag team match will be taking on Ash by Elegance and the Militia. That's Alicia Edwards and Masha Slamovich. An 8-man tag now, Joe Hendry, Mike Santana, and the Hardys taking on the System. So that'll be Moose, Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, and JDC. So that should be a lot of fun. And, of course, the main event of the night, Nick Nemeth against Josh Alexander for the TNA World Championship in a 60-minute Iron Man match. Yikes. This is going to be a great card. Boy, TNA is really pulling it together. And sure isn't hurting to be working with WWE either. But what a night that should be for TNA. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Hammerstone does in an Ultimate X match. But terrific guy, and definitely follow him on X at Alex Hammerstone. You're going to see some pretty amazing pictures of that guy. He is a monster, no doubt about it. And speaking of monsters, we got more of this monster week in pro wrestling that we're going to be talking about. Of course, Ricky Chino is going to be coming up. And we're also going to be giving away some tickets, by the way, later on to Wrestle Connects, wrestling's fandom and convention and expo here in Las Vegas in hour number 2. Of course, at the show, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Maria Kanellis, D'Lo Brown, Brian Cage, Kenny King, Victoria, and former UFC champ Misha Tate, Melissa Santos, and so many others are going to be there. That is going to be at the Tuscany Suites and Casino coming up on Saturday, September 14th. And best of all, I'm going to be there. That's right. So we would love to have you come join us there. You can get information at power-play-sports-collectibles.square.site, or you just look up Wrestle Connects. That's Connects with an X. Wrestle Connects. And get your tickets. But maybe you're going to win them coming up here in just a little bit. So stick around, everybody. We've got a whole lot more. Of course, Ricky Chino, now with Sports Illustrated on top of everything else, is going to be joining us hour 2. But we're going to keep an eye on this pre-show for AEW All In. And by the way, one of the announcers just did a little promo. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back.
.105 FM KDAWN. You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
I'm trying not to laugh right now. I'm really not. I think some people had bonuses in their contracts with Tony Khan for appearing on AEW All In. By the way, this is the Mark Hoke Show, best in pro wrestling news and entertainment. We want to thank you for joining us here on a big All In Sunday. The AEW All In pre-show is going on right now. And there is another pre-show match that is lining up right now. It is a 16-man tag team match. 16! How do you get everybody in this match? Are you kidding me? Now, we know guys get bonuses when they appear on pay-per-views. So here it is. Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, Anthony Ogogo, Arya Daivari, and Private Party, and the Dark Order And by the way, the Dark Order has got Evil Uno in their corner. Sanjay Dutt is out with Jay Lethal and Saddam Singh. So that's really a 10-man team. They are taking on Tommy Billington, Kip Sabian, Rocky Romero, Kyle Fletcher, Leo Rush, Action Andretti, and Top Flight, the Martin Boys, with Don Callis. So we got 19 people out here for one match, and it's not a battle royal. Are you kidding me? Oh, I love AEW. Oh, but that's fun. But what we teased, by the way, Nigel McGuinness, of course, longtime rival of Bryan Danielson. They had those wars over the Ring of Honor World Championship, and Nigel is always busting Bryan's chops. Cut a promo that he is hoping that the career of Bryan Danielson is going to be coming to an end. Nigel's getting involved in this. I have been saying this for a long time. I thought it was going to happen a little sooner, but I think Nigel in front of his hometown fans in Wembley, something's going to happen. Maybe he's helps Hangman win the title, that Bryan wins it, and then Nigel helps Hangman win the championship, cashing in the casino gauntlet chip or whatever it is. But this is going to be really interesting. But Nigel had a look in his eyes, and I'm telling you, he did a promo with Swerve and Bryan on Dynamite, and Nigel looked pretty buff. I think he's ready to go. By the way, Jesse Hyde in the chat box also commenting, do you think if Shane McMahon comes to AEW may affect AEW's partnerships? Nah, I'm okay. I don't think it's going to bother anybody. Shane's going to be another employee. God, I'm sorry. I'm slightly distracted by this. These ring introductions, they're going to take up most of the pre-show. I hope there's room for the other two matches. This is nuts. It's nuts. But hey, have a good time, guys. That's what it's all about. Pro wrestling's fun. It's fun. By the way, we still have 2 more big events coming up this week. On top of, we've got this one, TNA Emergence. Saturday morning is Bash in Berlin from WWE. Of course, that main event coming up is Cody Rhodes against Kevin Owens. But we've also got Gunther against Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship. The new Terror Twins, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, taking on the Judgment Day's Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre in a strap match, and the Unholy Union, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, the women's tag champs, will be defending against the former champions Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. So that's coming up. And then on Sunday, that's right, we're not done. NXT No Mercy comes on. Wesley against Zachary Wentz. Chase University defends the NXT tag titles against former champs Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Oba Femi against Tony D'Angelo for the North American Championship. Kaylani Jordan defends the women's North American title against Wendy Chu. Roxanne Perez is defending the NXT Women's Championship against Jada Parker. And Ethan Page, in what should be an amazing match, defends the NXT Championship against Joe Hendry. That's right. Joe Hendry earned the title shot. So get ready. What a week of wrestling. Unbelievable. So to be a wrestling fan right now, man, it is something special. Wow. And just to top it off this week, by the way, in case you didn't see it, JBL showed up at GCW and decked Effie. That's right. JBL, after popping up at AAA last week, now makes an appearance at GCW. What is going on? It's amazing. Ha. Oh, my God. It is almost too much to keep track of. And we had the G1 climax last week, too. I mean, I don't even know what to say right now, but just hold on to your hats, wrestling fans, because this is a special, special time. And if you're not a pro wrestling fan, man, this is the time to get in. It is just a blast. And, you know, we pro wrestling fans would love to welcome you into the fold. It is something really special. Speaking of special, coming up, we've got Wrestle Connects tickets to give away. Rick Ucchino from Sports Illustrated is going to be joining us. And we've also got a special announcement for another contest that we're going to be doing involving our YouTube website and YouTube channel at the end of the show. So keep your eyes on the live stream. Of course, you can join us in there, get in the chat box, and, you know, say hi. We're welcoming your comments, and keep an eye on the hell that is breaking loose at AEW All In right now. And it is literally all hell breaking loose. Everybody's getting beat up outside the ring, and Leo Rush, the small dude, is staring down the former NBA player Satnam Singh. Are you kidding me? Whoa. I love it. I love it. This is so much fun. Follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show, markhokeshow.com. YouTube is at The Mark Hoke Show. Subscribe on there, and that's going to be important later on. Subscribe right now. We've got another hour to go, everybody. Stick around for a whole lot more. The best in pro wrestling news and entertainment on The Mark Hoke Show. We'll be right back.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show, and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.